Okay, it's time to fill the page with text and see what happens. Okay, now go to XHTML CSS training folder, to episode 4 white space. Select your index.html and open it. I already opened it, so I'll go back, select it, right click and edit. Okay, so as you remember from our previous lessons, we need to place our content between body, start tag and end tag, which is the body of the document. Okay, wherever we type in, we just place it here. So we're needing some text. Well, most of the time when you're developing websites, or you create layout design, or you want to use some kind of a text to present to the client, but it takes a lot of time for you to create text, the easiest way is to go online. Just going to open a secondary page in my browser and search for Lepsum in Google. Well, basically it's called lorem ipsum. If you do not find it, just go to this page, lepsum.com. Just going to click on my search result. Well, where is this lepsum.com? Well, lorem ipsum is a basically standard text. It's a dummy text to say so, that it's going to be very useful for us. You just take the text and place it in your page instead of your real text, so you can make the design look correctly. If you take your time, you can read about lorem ipsum, where it came from, and why it's so great. Okay, but let's just generate some text. Just click on generate lorem ipsum and copy paste this paragraph from here. Just copy. It's a good website. Go back to our page and paste. Okay, from now on I'm just going to use shortcuts for copy and paste. I will still going to say copy and paste, but instead of doing whatever I did, I'm just going to use Ctrl+V to paste the text. It's much more easier and faster, and I'm sure everybody who is actually watching this video training has some basic knowledge of how to use the computer and copy paste the text. Okay, so save it and go back to the web page. Let's close this lorem ipsum for now and refresh the page. Okay, there it is. We have the text exactly as we placed it. This is the way the text is going to render. Now if we are going to just drag the page around, we're going to see the text how is actually flowing with the page restriction. If we're going to restrict the width, the text as well is restricting. If we're going to make the page bigger, then the text follows the width of the page. Okay, this is what happens within a web page when we place the text just as it is, with no formatting whatsoever, no tag that will tell him exactly how to behave, no width, height, or other properties. In this case, the content will just going to follow the left and right and the top borders of the page. Okay, now let's go back to the code. Let's say I'm not really that happy the way the code the way the text looks right now. Okay, I just want to take this part and place it a little bit further down the down the page, and I would like to have a space between this newly formed paragraph and the next one. Okay, that's fine, it's looking fine to me. I'm going to save it, then going back to my page and refresh. Wow, interesting, nothing happened, right? But I did actually place some space. Well, I'll try again. Refresh the page. Nothing happens again. Well, this is absolutely normal, because you see, HTML and XHTML pages do not understand how exactly to format the text in this case. Basically, for him, everything is just one continuous text from here to here, and you can make only one space between the words. So if I'm going to undo this a little bit, okay, just take it like this, and I want to add some space here. I'm adding space, I'm saving and refreshing the page. Again, nothing happens. I told you, XHTML does not know what to do with this space. For him, it's just as well one space as 10 spaces in a row. It doesn't matter, he will always place just one text. So I can totally scrap my text, it doesn't really matter in the end. Just place a couple of more texts, right? And I'll just do here, save it, go back, refresh, and that's it. Nothing really happens. The text is the same, and of course the flow of the text is pretty much the same, right? Well, how can we fix this? Let's first undo things up to a certain level. Oh, it's quite an undo business here, trust me. Okay, and I really want a space between this. Okay, I'll go at the end of the row where I want the break to occur, and we're going to use our very first inline tag, which is called break, or BR, which is, of course, it's composed from the same basic elements. It has a left anchor bracket, it has the name of the tag itself, which is break in our case. It has a space in this case, one ending slash, and one right bracket. Well, in this case we do not have something like this, which normally should be a break tag, an end tag, I'm sorry, for this break element, right? Why is that? Well, this is because the break element is an empty element. It does not contain any kind of text or other information inside it. Therefore, we do not need this end tag. It's basically a self-ending tag. And what it does is actually placing a breakpoint within a text. Let's see how exactly it's doing this. Just going to save it, go back to the page, refresh. Well, there we go. We have a breakpoint after the Ahmed audio dot, right? It's basically after the first paragraph, but still we have another space between the two paragraphs, which I really wanted, right? Well, in this case I'm just going to use break one more time, so I have two breaks in a row, refresh, and there we go. Now we have the exact formatting of the text as we wanted in the first place. Whatever we see here, now we're going to see also in the page. So what I did, we just placed two breaking points. First breaking point is just to break the text and takes the next paragraph one line below. The second breakpoint is going to add one more row between them. So break tag, it's inserting one empty row, which is going to be your breakpoint. Well, this is the way it works. Even if I delete the space between them in my code, I save it, and then I'm going to refresh it. You see, the breaking point are there, and the browser interprets the code exactly as stated within the code page. So for him, it doesn't really matter if I have a row space here or if I have no space. If I have the breakpoints, then the paragraph, it will always going to break in two, and it forms two new paragraphs. So we can repeat this as many times as we want. Alright, I can take this and place it here and form a new paragraph. Refresh, and there we go, we have it. We can repeat this as many times as I want. Then the obvious question is, why should I make my code inside the XHTML page, right? The code itself. Let's clean it up a little bit. Why should I do this when in the edit page? After all, the user does not see it. Well, it's very simple. Why should the user be thankful enough and happy to be able to read the text spaced out and easy, right? We can do the same thing for us as well as coders. The more structured you have a code and clean, then the easier will be for you to edit in the future and actually follow and read things. Of course, there's nothing there to stop you doing like this or like this, but in the end I would prefer to have at least one break line or enter, if you like, after the row, so I can also be able to read the code